You're gonna say 800, you're gonna say $720,000 because, or at least $720,000. Because you're.
Yeah, but not all of that's in the
Well,
library
820,000.
capital reserve.
Yeah, they're separating these out, the
Right.
capital reserve fund and the capital donations fund.
Right.
Right, so you'll have the final number for the capital reserve account.
Very soon.
Right.
So that'll be that number, and then the other number will be the balancing number between the 1.92, the capital reserve, and the 1.1 million. But it will have to be worded, it'll have to be worded at least that amount of money, because you may want to borrow less because you have more.
Right.
And the first payment on the bond or notes shall not be made until year 2019.
2019.
Can we, so do we include just the cash that we have in here, or do we include the pledges too? The pledges are contingent on passage.
Right.
Well, then if this passes, then, I mean.
So we include the pledge amounts
Yeah,
as well?
I think you have to include the pledge amount. If
Okay.
it goes down, then it's a moot
Yeah.
point anyway.
Okay.
Well, the pledges are in that $1,090,000 figure that I came up with.
Mhm.
So I think we have to include.
Yeah, okay.
It'll be at that
Yeah.
number.
Okay.
And where do we come in to adjust the capital reserve fund to make it?
I will have that figure this week.
No, I don't mean to adjust it figure-wise, but to change the usage of it, because it's restricted right now.
That's a separate warrant
Right.
article.
Separate one.
Okay.
Have you voted on that yet to make that change?
I'll double check.
I think we have. Karen, have we?
No, I put no, and that's on that sheet for today too. It's listed as Article 4.
I don't know if we need to rename the library capital building fund. It's still the library capital building fund, but we do need to change the use.
Right. We need to change
Right.
it to, from a new building to an addition.
Oh,
Your building.
And renovation, I want to say renovation as well. Is that something that DRA looks at? Is that something that the trustees of the trust funds will look at and say, yeah, this is okay with us?
Everybody looks at it.
Okay, just want to make sure.
Now, recommended by the Board of Selectmen and the Budget Committee, we'll just wait until we take votes on that, correct? I have a question, has to do with the Board of Selectmen. He has a wife that works there, and he's recused himself. Is that valid subject matter, or?
I'd like to speak to that.
Go ahead.
I don't see why you would need to recuse that. You don't have a pecuniary interest in this project. Okay, this is a town building.
It is.
I did not recuse myself from discussing the budget for the library, the working budget at the budget committee level, because, I don't have an axe in that fire. Nothing's going to be coming into my pocket, whether something, axe in the fire? Axe to grind, I'm sorry. Nothing's coming into my pocket by that discussion. Nothing's going to be coming into your pocket in addition to the library, and quite frankly, I would feel a lot more comfortable as an elected trustee of the library to think that we're going to have a certain amount of unanimity with the Board of Selectmen, and the Board of Selectmen, if you're going to support this, would speak to this as well when it comes time.
And I'm kind of in agreement on this article. I can see a recusal on the operating budget because you're a recipient.
But we don't have any direct line in the library operating budget. We're just advisory on that. The library trustees to budget committee to, all we're doing is saying, looks good to us. We don't,
But for the fact that you gentlemen set the waiver rates.
the what?
You set the salary rates for the town, okay?
We don't set the
With your
salary rates for you.
classifications. I understand that, but we as trustees have made a decision a long time ago.
For
that we-
continuity.
For continuity's sake, that we would follow
Right.
the town guidelines. And I think it's a minuscule problem. But I
Anybody-
certainly think on this end of it, that you have no conflict of interest, in my opinion.
Anybody on this side of the table have input or comments or thoughts?
I tend to agree with Gordon on that. I don't think there's any conflict. I mean, anybody that's, you vote on any kind of a budget, if you're on a committee, you're also a taxpayer in that town. I mean,
Right.
there's really no issue there, I don't think.
Well, I can, go ahead. Go ahead. You know, there are other issues that come up. I happen to be a member of the fire department, and I ask that question for now 20 years. Gee, you know, I do get some money for going on calls. Is there a conflict? And I let each committee make the decision. He recently had one with Libby Museum and stepped aside because, you know, a sibling is working on it. So, you know, these guys here are sensitive to optics. Okay?
Oh, I think we all are. But this is one
Would be a
optic
problem?
that I don't think.
Optics, do you think optics are a problem here?
Excuse me.
Anything's gonna be a bigger problem.
Thank you.
I
Anything
guess- I
else?
guess the issue, if we want to bring it right up front, is that a 3-0 selectman recommendation and a, 7-0 budget committee recommendation would be the ideal
Perfect
presentation
world.
position. So,
Anything else from library and treasurer?
No, thanks for getting the numbers.
What would the board like to do today? No, we don't have to.
No, I don't think you probably don't have to vote on anything other than,
yeah, I think we got to clean this article up before we vote on it.
Yeah.
Okay.
Get it finalized. I mean, I think it appears as though we have the votes for it, so.
I move that we table this.
A second.
All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Right?
Thank you very much for your time and effort.
So you'll have something
Appreciate
to
it.
us by the end of the week, you think?
yeah, I'll go around and see what I can find out, and see if there's any other, if the rates are pretty much the same, then, you know, it's probably not gonna be worth going to a lot of exercise.
I mentioned earlier, I want to try to get as much of this before the budget committee, on the 16th as I can. So,
Anything else you guys need from me or us?
When it comes to the presentation of the budget, or the warrant article, are you guys prepared to get up there and,
Oh, we always have.
okay.
But my point is that in years past, we've had the votes on the part of the Board of Selectmen.
Yeah.
But I would be a lot happier that, you know, members of the Board of Selectmen would speak to the subject as well, as leaders of the community. It's,
Hey, put a microphone in front of me, you can't shut me up.
Right.
Before we move on, you had a question?
I just, this is, it's probably might come under public input, but whereas Jack is here, and you had the conversation earlier about contingency funds or a health fund and things like that. The school district has a contingency, has a warrant article every year for ever, I think at least 20 years now, in the amount of, we up to there?
Well, it's under 50,000 now, it was up to 200, and
Yeah.
I backed it down. but-
That specifically goes in the warrant article every year to deal with ongoing maintenance issues. Okay, so it's not the cost of turning the lights on, it's that we know we're gonna need a boiler in New Durham, the water treatment system in Wolfboro, and Tuftonboro is gonna be dealt with. And it's been it's a very successful way, and the only reason we have it is we tried to go all at once one year for $1 million bond, way back when, we lost, and this is what evolved.
I think the key to that, and I agree, I think it's been very useful in the school district, and the key to it is to have somebody in town be able to identify all of these projects. Because we do that in the school district all the time. We identify, this year I think there's $450,000 worth of projects that, we don't want to put into the regular budget. They're maintenance issues, but longer-term maintenance issues. And we'll take that 150 and we'll prioritize. And next year, we'll add some new ones, we'll take the old ones off that got done, and we'll always have a list in front of us looking at $300,000 or $400,000 worth of projects that keep the buildings in good shape, keep the taxpayers' pocketbooks safe because they don't have to be hit with the big bill all at once. So I think it's, probably $150,000 for a town this size probably isn't reasonable.
Well, we've got $50,000 right, sitting on the table right here,
Yeah.
maybe a little more than that, for a couple of items. I'm thinking the doors.
The doors,
here,
you got the
windows, and then the
highway garage.
the highway garage.
So
Which
the-
are just ongoing.
My point is,
Yeah.
didn't even bring it up in the first place, is you can identify through the department heads 5 to 10 years out. And think, we know we're gonna need to do something here in 3 years or 5 years. Then you can start thinking about that type of a warrant article. And that's the only reason I brought it out, and I spoke out of turn, but I'm gonna leave as soon as we're done here, so.
But I think it does make a lot of sense that it's something, if your department heads can identify those types of projects, then it makes a lot of sense to put it out there, and you take care of a little at a time, you keep, it's a moving target.
That's what we've
Well,
done.
and some of what we're looking at now are things that haven't been looked at. It's easy to focus this year and what we're doing now.
Sure.
And over time, suddenly we look at some buildings and other physical assets that have some serious needs because we've kind of just been going along and doing, what we need to. Everybody wants to be frugal with what we spend, and while that's admirable, it's important not to be penny wise and pound foolish, and have our buildings falling down around us.
The most
while we're saving.
expensive line item I ever saw taken away was maintenance.
Yeah, sure.
And he and I spent enough time
Oh, yeah.
dealing with that for years, so.
And that's, I mean, that's really a critical point, and as you identify these things, you don't want to go to the taxpayer and say, yeah, we knew it was coming, but here's a big bill for you.
Yeah.
But when you make your presentation for this type of a warrant article, you have somebody do the presentation, because this is what we do in the school district anyway. We've got our PowerPoint presentation that shows all the different things that were accomplished with the money from last year, and all the things that need to be done that we've identified. So you have to have that, that whole stuff in place in order to make it work.
Go ahead.
Yeah, well, I'd just be more comfortable, are you gentlemen gonna discuss that warrant article that changes the other warrant article that changes where the funds are coming from the capital reserve? Because that, I'm concerned about that article. I'd like to make sure that gets adjusted today. if
What can
possible.
we do to allay your concerns? You're concerned that the money's not gonna be available when it needs to be.
Yes, I'm concerned that
That
we
in
need-
wording it, the Board of Selectmen is gonna goof it up and not get it to where it needs to be.
No, I just want to make sure that the wording gets changed.
Yeah, well,
It's on
And actually,
it's on
if you
the
like-
to-do list.
All right.
probably the
And-
clearest place to see is the 16th of the budget meeting that
Okay.
we're gonna have, because
Okay.
it'll be presented then.
Okay, good.
To go back to what you two gentlemen said, when I came aboard the Board of Selectmen, Jack had already started with the department heads. Safety issues were number one, immediate issues were number one. There've been a $26,000 grant for a pellet stove. There were grants for these lights, and then they reused the good ones someplace else, and there was a rebate and a savings. What is handicapped accessible, different places, lightning strikes and all that. Two things. First of all, we average about $5,000 of septic tanks and wells and lightning strikes a year. That's a ballpark figure. And a couple of years ago, we came up with that contingency fund. The other thing is combining one side of the roof here and one side of the roof up there and keeping it under the capital $10,000 figure. We've exhausted those strategies. Now we're getting into $20,000 to change the 30-year-old doors out here that have worn out. So there has been, we've listened to you in the past, we listen to you in the
$20,000
future.
a year, you should pay your selectmen for
No.
putting through this crazy stuff.
Anything else from you people? Thank you again for all your time and effort, it's appreciated.
Good to see you, Jack.
Yeah.
See you too.
Travel safe, folks. So long, neighbor.
That's nice place to work.
The thing I already worked on
It's a little more controlled.
Yep.
It is a little more.
was Oh, I guess.
Talk about maintenance,
For a kid? That's right.
Good luck on that.
Don't bother going up, I'm not. I'm not going up.
We need to vote on
I have a draft of it on that.
So what are you saying, that does she say this is the maximum that we're gonna borrow?
Do we want to do that?
I have a draft of it on that list from today.
I think what Chip said was or less, you know, we're gonna borrow this or less.
It's the last
Oh,
one.
yeah.
Should be the last one.
Let me just make sure about that.
Overstate the expenses. Here's you don't have any money.
Yeah. So, yeah, I thought it was just comparable. I think they ran exactly the same problem we ran into here. And nobody wanted to listen.
We'll begin the installation of the new system
You said
next week.
when we get to the borrowing part in this warrant article that it would say or less. Alyssa's just saying that the overall warrant article apparently is posted and it says no more than or something, but that must be a DRA thing,
Well,
right?
they've been working over this over the last few weeks, and the DRA looked at it, came back, and they were trying to improve the wording. It's pretty lengthy,
Okay.
but they're dealing with the same thing.
Excuse me,
They
are
have
we all set,
budget,
folks, to move on?
capital reserve.
See you later.
No doubt.
So
Karen,
they say
where-
the bond is-
Karen, whereabouts on this?
the bond is-
Is it the last one on this?
Of course,
On the first
No
page?
more than,
So
yeah,
it shows.
Yeah, it says
people-
article, does it say full?
same thing, yes. And it will be less because we'll have more pledges by the time we get there.
I gave up my copy,
I guess
yeah.
it's just like.
Article
Someone else.
Okay, we're not gonna bond this.
You can,
Bedlam, absolute
Sorry.
bedlam.
No, that's a good point, it really is, does have the same.
Oh, thank you. Okay, thank
because
you.
let me email you a copy,
Let's do
Thank you.
Article
because I don't have,
If you don't.
I want to keep my, this is the only copy.
See you tonight.
Moving on,
Yeah.
let's talk about Article 4.
That's true.
To see if the town will
care.
vote to rename the previous established Library Capital Building Fund to be called the Library Capital Building / Addition Fund, and to change the use of such fund to be for a new building or an existing building addition.
So, does the name of the fund need to be changed? Or can the use just be expanded?
I think I was actually drafted this, so I think what, and they had said maybe the name doesn't have to be changed, so perhaps you can edit this to just change the use.
So just have it as
To,
the previously established library capital building fund to be
Yeah.
used for renovations and additions to the current library building.
And does there need to be a sentence added that to authorize the selectmen
To expand.
to expend?
That goes without saying.
I don't think so. I mean, Unless we anticipate wanting to expend funds from this capital reserve fund outside of direction from the legislative body, you don't need to.
Well, the thing is that they can give it to us for 2019, but what happens if these funds, we're careful with our money and over the building of the library? You know, there may be some use for the funds into 2020, correct?
Yeah, typically the first thing that goes into the building is going to be the capital reserve fund before you start using borrowed money. So, I think you zero that out
Yeah,
going
and
forward
I think
and
if
just
we-
leave it where it is.
If we pull the originating article,
Mhm.
so whatever that article said, when this was originally established 2 years ago, or 3 or
Right.
4 years ago, put all of that language in, and then the same as happens when you do a planning board. thing.
Yeah, a change to the
Change in
zoning
language.
regs, yeah, or plan, yeah,
I think that would make it clear for
Yep.
everybody what we were doing.
yep.
Is there a motion to change the wording? I'll so move.
I'll second.
Any further discussion?
Okay, do we know where we're going here? She's gonna pull the original article and add the language for renovation and improvement.
I think we've gone beyond today's
Yes.
discussion on this if we're talking about pulling, and I agree with you, it makes sense to include the original and indicate the change, but we don't have it in front of us, so I don't see how we can vote on a reworded motion today. So
I move I change my motion to a table.
Okay, then, if we're tabling, I know you're not gonna be here Friday,
I am not.
Selectman Marcus. Is it gonna be a problem if we act on this
No,
on Friday?
not at all.
Okay, because I'd like to clean some of this up.
Yep,
Because I know we don't have a meeting next Monday.
right.
And
Yeah, somebody's got a holiday.
then
Not me, but.
Martin Luther King.
Yeah, and then we'll have a budget here, or a budget meeting.
Yeah.
I'd like to get it.
Sure.
Yeah.
Some of this cleaned up.
Move to table, is there a second?
I'll second.
All those in favor say aye.
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 Anything else under warrant articles, budget items? I think we're complete, aren't we?
Yep.
Yep.
Okay.
Is there another way to word your recusal that doesn't look like a no vote? Because I know that question's gonna come up somewhere,
Yep.
that it's a 2-to-1 vote from the selectmen,
No, it's 201.
2-0. I mean, is there an explanatory paragraph at the bottom to know it? Or we just have to tell people?
If I might interrupt,
Should- yeah.
I believe if Bill was to abstain, which I don't think is necessary personally, that means he is in agreement with the rest of the board's vote, although he didn't vote. I'm pretty sure that's how that works, because I've abstained several times, and I think Carla would agree with me. I don't see the point in this. You have no financial gain in this particular item. And we were told very clearly at Budget Committee that even though we're on another committee or another board, as long as there's no financial gain, we're welcome to vote. So that's just my opinion, sorry to interrupt.
Because I'd like to take that to the budget committee, the library article, but if we can't, that's fine, we can wait and do it at the next budget meeting, but we're gonna run out of budget meetings.
Exactly.
Yep.
Okay, we're moving on to signature file. First item is a letter from Lakes Region Humane Society. This is just the contract we have with them for the town animal shelter service for 2018, Lakes Region Humane Society. Have you folks read the paperwork?
Yes.
Okay. Do we want to continue with them?
I'll move approval.
Is there a second?
I'll second.
All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Motion passes 3-0.
What this does is, this is our contract with them as a place to deliver strays that are picked up in town.
Today's the 8th.
Yes.
So watch out.
The food might be good.
I noticed all us strays.
Yep.
This is from Health Trust. As I understand it, it's just the legal paperwork that secures us in a relationship with them.
It's the management of our,
Yep.
Health reimbursement.
Right, you folks have read it?
yes.
Yes.
Okay.
Move approval.
I'll second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye, motion passes 3-0. This is a note that gives, a letter that gives authorization to accept prepayment property taxes as per RSA 80:52a. It's a request from Jackie.
I will move approval.
I'll second.
Any discussion? All those in favor say aye.
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 Aye. Motion passes 3-0. Okay, next is a intent to cut for lot, let me go through here. Map 38, lot 1016 and 1004. The two trustees signed on different forms for the same intent to cut. Please sign both forms. Is there a motion?
So move.
Is there a second?
I'll second.
All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Motion passes. Next item of business is new business. I have nothing on my agenda. Do you folks have anything?
I do not.
Under continued business, we have Libby Park proposal. Karen, do you have anything for us on that?
Just at one of the last meetings, Bill wanted to wait to vote because he wanted to look at the site, but I understand that we just put tabling that for now.
Yes. Not ready to go any further.
Okay, that's tabled.
Yep.
Our next selectmen's update.
Budget.
Budget. Yep.
No, there's welfare.
Do you have anything?
I had a question. I know the trustees of trust fund made a presentation about needs, part of which included, I believe, additional fireproof storage. Is that right, Karen? And is that something that needs to be added to their budget for 2018?
Sue and I talked about it, and they were gonna, maybe you touched it too, but from what I read in the minutes, I don't think they voted on filing cabinets. But, so I don't have any further information, I haven't had time to follow up with it.
We meet again on the 16th, just before the budget committee meeting. Hopefully we'll have some kind of a suggestion or an answer or move along at that meeting.
Okay,
Yep.
great.
But now's the time of year to get it in if we can,
Absolutely.
if we can do it. And in the ideal world, we think about these things in August, but it doesn't always come along until late in the game. That's the only thought I had.
I had two things. First of all, I went yesterday to the Eagle Scout ceremony in the Wolfboro for Dawson Allwine and Liam Morrissey. I know both these kids, I know these families, excellent service, an award service, a lot of people spoke. The letter from Tufton Borough was read. You don't have to worry about the kids. I saw about 27 scouts there. There's some good kids, but it was a great day to be a selectman and see the smiles on their faces. The other question I have is several people in town have asked me, Bill, about the status of the master plan. Is that
Work is ongoing on it. As I think you're aware, the Mike Izzard at LRPC, who had been doing the work on it, has left, and there's a new person come in, which I haven't met yet, Susan somebody, I think, right? You've met her?
Yes, I've met her, Mark and I met her. She also is the moderator in Effingham.
Oh,
She's
okay.
a lawyer and came highly recommended.
So work is continuing slowly, but as I mentioned when planning board presented our budget at the budget committee meeting, it's important at this point that we get it right rather than get it closed quickly. So it's moving forward. I don't have an end date on it.
The interaction I had were not people criticizing, they were just asking, and I said,
Yep.
I would ask, and of course, they watch
Yep.
the TV. Anything under Selectmen's update? Okay. Next is correspondence. I think we've already talked about this, but Chris Fournier from HEB came in and clarified that the Sodom Road Bridge, you know, he looked into things in his RSAs where we can't make the repairs and whatever, and we've already shared this letter, but it's official. This is another day to be, I'm pleased to be a selectman. And let me read from Nancy Vittum. Happy New Year. A quick thank you to Selectman Albee and the board for a much-needed review of the town's health insurance contract. The 2014 year coverage change unfortunately proved costly for all of us. Return now to our original carrier allows considerable savings for the town, better coverage for our employees, no deductibles, no co-pays, and a $200 a month premium savings for self-paying retirees. A good job, well done, thank you, Nancy Vittum. So, thank you guys, that's a compliment to me.
Sounds great.
This was from Clay. The snow pusher has been ordered, and just a copy of the correspondence. He verified that. He got the selling price of $4,874.30. Freight is only $276 because instead of shipping it to that location and shipping it up here, it comes directly to town. And they also, that includes a 5% municipal discount. So as usual, Clay does an excellent job. I have a letter here from Carla Luton's, reference a correction. So have you folks read it?
Yeah.
Okay. This is from Jeffrey Newcomb to the Board of Selectmen. We recently wrote about our concerns with the condition of Shirley Way and received a prompt